In a league where being direct is encouraged, Fort Wayne FC and AV Alta like to defy the trends and play ball in USL League One. It'll be a tug of war for possession in this first ever meeting. So let's see how the styles converge at Ruoff Mortgage Stadium. Welcome one and all on ESPN Plus. My name is Mark Schoenster. I am joined by Ross Davenport on the broadcast. Can't wait to see how this one unfurls. Two teams in great form right now with some good in-form goal scorers as well. So we had to pick out a few of them to highlight for you here on the broadcast. Starting off with, on the Fort Wayne side of things, their striker, a pacey forward, Lilian Rico.
Yeah, the rookie Frenchman out of UCF comes into tonight with 5 league goals, including braces against Portland and Boise. He hasn't looked at all out of place in the pro games, showcasing his speed to latch on the balls over the top, as well as his technical ability both in the air and on the ground inside the box. Look for him to be causing all sorts of headaches tonight for that AV Alta back line.
In that AC Boise game, nearly eclipsed 25 miles per hour at one point in the match. And speaking of scoring 5 goals, Adam Outmatch has also done that.
Yeah, the other red-hot Frenchman starting this evening. 4 goals in his last 4 league contests after being held scoreless in league play last season. He started 7 times then. Outmatch bagged a brace last weekend in the 4-0 win over the Cosmos, scoring on 2 of his 3 shots and goal. Limited to just 1 touch in the box, though, in Wednesday's cup loss to El Paso Locomotive.
It's a good day to be French all around when it comes to the sport of soccer. And these two have been in great form. Those are some primary targets up top, but there is talent abound these lineups. We'll have those names for you, and more importantly, kickoff up next on ESPN Plus. It's Fort Wayne FC and AV Alta FC on the docket.
Partnership between O&E, Orthopedics Northeast, and Parkview Sports Medicine is unique because our team is taking care of the athlete in their own environment on the field. O&E is the other end of our treatment when someone actually does have an injury that requires a specialist care.
We have athletic trainers, we have the physical therapists, and everyone's important. Everyone has a role to play because our goal is the same. We're just trying to get these athletes back to doing what they love to do.
At Ruoff Mortgage, we understand that you don't just need a mortgage. You need someone who knows your kid's name, your dream for a backyard, and that this is more than a house. At Ruoff, we've got your person, the one you'll lean on from your pre-approval to the closing table. Your loan officer will be there with you every step of the way. The right home begins with the right person by your side.
This isn't the best seat in the house. This is. Because sometimes the best seat isn't even a seat at all. It can be anywhere, at any time, but not with just anyone. It's the only seat where you can watch your neighbor Manuel cry for the very first time, and where your passion is amplified by the sound of your people. It's a seat that any beer would love to have, but only the cerveza for football can. Modelo, the cerveza for football.
What does success look like to you? At Purdue University Fort Wayne, you have what it takes. In the herd, your voice will be heard, and you'll be able to lead, inspire, create, and succeed. When you earn your Purdue degree in our thriving city, you can have an impact, and that impact can change the world.
Enter the Brinks Tires USL Cup Game Day Kit Sweepstakes for your chance to win a prize pack worth up to $2,000. Scan the QR code on screen and enter today. We are here at Ruoff Mortgage Stadium for Fort Wayne FC and AV Alta FC. Let's take a look at the starting lineups presented by Modelo. Brewed for those with a fighting spirit. Whether you're celebrating the beautiful game or gathering with friends, Modelo is proud to support Fort Wayne FC soccer. Modelo, the mark of a fighter. Please enjoy responsibly.
One change for Mike Avery from his 3-1 win at Boise last Saturday. Javier Armas misses out for the first time this season with an ankle issue. Emerson Nieto comes in for him. And Kabira Gafour gets a second straight start on the right side of midfield.
This has been the stalwart 4-2-3-1 formation they've been rocking throughout the season. Similar look for AV Alta.
Yeah, a couple of changes from last Saturday's 4-0 win against the Cosmos, 5 from Wednesday's loss in the Cup to El Paso. Jerry Desdude is back after not featuring in the last 2. He scored in 3 straight starts. Denzel Smith is in after leaving last Saturday's game early with a knee issue and not featuring on Wednesday's game.
Both teams take to the pitch now, getting ready for this one to start. Road kits for AV Alta. It's the black kits today for the home side Fort Wayne. Our head official is Alex Beeler. He'll be the one to keep everything organized on the pitch here this evening. Ref crew will be wearing a neon green uniform today. Make it easy for them to stand out. I was mentioning before this game got started, Ross, this is a very unique color combination as far as professional clubs in the United States are concerned, with the autumn gold and the grayish tan look that AV Alta are rocking with.
I do like the green as well on the collars. Always appreciate a collar on a soccer jersey.
The whistle sounds and we are ready to go from the Roo. For the first time, it's Fort Wayne and AV Alta doing battle. Welcome you in on the broadcast on ESPN+. Mark Schoenster here with Ross Davenport on the call. Two teams that'll be very interesting to see how their styles intertwine.
Yeah, we mentioned AV Alta played in El Paso on the Wednesday in the Cup, did not go back to California. Came straight here to Indiana. Mike Avery said his Fort Wayne players have been playing, seem a little better since their crazy schedule of late.
Yeah, so they're certainly not going to overlook the fact that AV Alta have had a busy week, as we're going to get an early corner kick here presented by More Wealth Management, helping individuals and families in Fort Wayne plan for a stronger financial future.
Reed Sproat making his way up from the back. He may be a target here. Or was he Lillian Ricole as well?
Last home game here, Fort Wayne are able to score off a corner kick, and it was Tiago Dias who nodded it home. It's on this end of the pitch, though, from the other flag. Has the option to play it short. Rempel drilling it inside. Off the head of Healy. And a free kick incoming. A dangerous spot for Fort Wayne.
I think Pajaro made some contact with Reed Sproat. They were trying to clear that ball out. The resulting free kick is going to be in a very dangerous position.
Miguel Pajaro, the captain, getting the start again after getting the look on Wednesday. Been seeing a little bit of Eric Ceja Gonzalez as well in recent matches from the center back spot, but it is the Colombian stalwart center back in his second year, who's once again paired up with Kaloyan Pelivanov. A trifecta of voices all sitting behind this dead ball now for Fort Wayne.
Rempel might fancy a go here with the left foot, I think.
Healy straight into the wall. Follow-up shot. Ooh, that one had some pace to it. But well dealt with by Denzel Smith.
Yeah, struck with venom there. Denzel Smith got down nicely. Not sure how clear of a view he had off that strike. Looked very comfortable with the early save. He had to get down there quickly, though.
That one kept in bounds. Launched up the pitch. Maybe Alta able to move forward for the first time in this game. And a whistle sounded. It'll be a free kick for the visitors. Let's take a look at tonight's keys to the match. Presented by Hoosier Lottery, proud supporters of communities across Indiana through contributions to teacher, police, and firefighter pension funds. Hoosier Lottery, champions of play.
Yeah, Mike Avery talked about this AV Alta side. Yes, they're known for their possession, but they also have a very effective press that allows them to regain possession. He said his team needs to manage that. And it's the last home game in a while for Fort Wayne. He wants to finish this one in style. As for AV Alta, Brian Claiborne talking about they've been converting like assassins of lately. Wants to continue that theme. But he also understands coming off the midweek game, they're going to try to control the ball more away from home here and pick their spots on where they run.
This one will be chipped over to the left-hand side for Desdoon. Almesh. Back to Jerry Desdoon. Pulls it across the center. Talk about this AV Alta team are the extreme personification of possession, at least for the standards of USL League One. I think they're going to love the metrics of this venue in particular, just how large this pitch is. Even more space to play with. Antwi scored 2 goals recently, and they are both bangers. Fort Wayne coming off a big win on the road against AC Boise.
Yeah, Boise now lost 2 in a row, losing to Sarasota as well. Struggling a bit there at home in front of that great crowd.
Yeah, that crowd was one of the many elements that were difficult about that game, according to Mike Avery. Add the travel nuances, the time change, altitude, and then, of course, the fact that AC Boise is a pretty good team. And also, there was a bit of a bug going around with Fort Wayne, and so some guys ended up being unavailable for that game. Let's look at that contact. Our first replay tonight, presented by Bowen Health, caring for the mental wellness of our community every day.
Yeah, just a little clumsy leg left in there by Adam Almesh. No damage done.
Mentioned that game on Wednesday in the USL Cup against El Paso Locomotive, but last league match for AV Alta was a dazzling display at home against New York Cosmos, 4-0, and every single goal was just exquisite in one capacity or another. But before even talking about those goals, Brian Claiborne said it started with the defensive intensity established by Cesar Bahena and Miguel Ibarra up top. He says the work rate is where it starts. You can be talented, but you have to roll up your sleeves in order to get results. He was very pleased, especially just from the running data in that game. But I mean, pick your poison as far as which goal would be your favorite in a match like that.
No doubt. It's only AV Alta's 3rd away league match of the season. Collision there, Jerry Desdoon on the ground, asking why there was no whistle. Excuse me, that was Al Hassan pushing forward from his defensive midfield position. Sits back there with League One veteran Jimmy Villalobos.
I mean, has seen his fair share of USL League One action, over 150 appearances. And we are marveling at the fact that he's not exactly an old guy either, but a ton of experience as this one will be held offside. Flag pops up.
Yeah, Jimmy Villalobos, one of those guys that can play absolutely anywhere in the midfield. Also play fullback if needed.
Here's tonight's injury report presented by PSM ONE, keeping Fort Wayne FC healthy and match ready all season long. So James Musa getting closer and closer to being available. Javier Armas did pick up a tweak in that game against AC Boise. Meanwhile, Joaquin Acuna has not made an appearance yet this season for AV Alta, returning striker from last season, but he's getting awfully close to where you got to start mentioning his name now on these reports.
And somebody not on that list tonight, Ryan Betcher.
Yes.
Expected to be a key part of the Fort Wayne starting 11 all season. Picked up an injury a few weeks ago, just finally now back to be on the bench. Maybe a key addition. We'll see if he gets some time tonight. This is a loose arm.
Michael Rempel goes down, and he's down in a heap. Godwin Ante with a wry smile looks at our head official.
Yeah, we saw one of these in the Champions League final today, a loose arm catching a player in the face. You just got to be cautious. Obviously, no real venom in that challenge, but you got to watch where you put your arms.
Bringing the Champions League up. Neither of these teams will be trying to don the Arsenal role in the game today.
That's for sure. We should see some exciting open football tonight. Antwi gives his opponent a hug. Rempel a little slow to get up. Trying to get back underway here, but Jerry Desdoon now making his way 10 yards back, perhaps.
In that AC Boise game, the first half got off to a really hot start, then you take the lead, and in the second half, you know they're going to start coming at you hard. And Mike Avery was really pleased with how they defended in that game. Really kept them out of the penalty box, and the only reason they conceded was because it was a long distance. Great effort to make it 2-1.
And Boise had 30 shots in that one. That was tied for 4th all-time in League One history. Only 6 of them on target, though, and a lot of those was when they were trying to come back from the deficit.
During that defensive spell, too, they were very eager to encourage Lilian Ricol to stay up because they saw how many numbers were being committed forward, and they felt they could get a goal in a counterattack situation, and lo and behold, they did, to bring it back to a 2-goal lead in that second half and really ice the game.
You obviously mentioned Fort Wayne being a little short-handed in that game. Only had 5 subs listed, but did what they had to do. Pulled out a big 3 points. Looking for more tonight.
That's a result you hang your hat on. Jordan settles this one down. Whistle sounds. It'll be a free kick for the home side. Turn to the CBS Sports Network on Wednesday, June 10th for a USL Eastern Conference Championship clash under the lights. Tampa Bay Rowdies defend their home turf against battle-tested Charleston Battery at 7 p.m. Eastern. Catch all the action on the CBS Sports Network June 10th.
You see how far JP Jordan has pushed up the field. A midfielder by nature. Fort Wayne will just stick with this sort of 3 at the back when they are in possession, allowing Jordan to get up the pitch and cause some havoc. AV Ultra well aware of that, though, not allowing him to get the ball at the moment.
This one slid over to the left-hand side by Garay. Now the cross, whipped inside, punched away by Smith. Jordan settles it down.
Oh, it was one of the first-time volley mark. Never crossed his mind, though, I don't think.
Garay sends it to Awudor, flipped along. Awudor still going, and he falls to ground. Pressure still on. Jordan in the 18, cuts to his right. And it rolls out of play, and a corner kick awarded.
Yeah, it was well defended in the end, I think, by Christian Ortiz there at left back. Did enough on the physical side of things to force JP Jordan wide. Jordan did earn himself a corner, though.
Another more wealth management corner kick here for the home side, their second of the match. Denzel Smith picked up a knock in that game last week against the Cosmos. Was a late scratch in the game on Wednesday against El Paso Locomotive, but able to get his 2 fists on the initial danger there, punched it away.
Yeah, he's not the tallest keeper in the world. That's why sometimes it's wiser just to try and get the fists on it rather than try and catch it in traffic, especially. We'll see what he does here if the ball's in his vicinity.
Yeah, just 5'10". Rempel with the service. Booted away, appeals for a handball. Not seen by our officiating crew.
Yeah, half-hearted appeals, that's for sure. Fort Wayne in the early ascendancy here. The only 2 shots in this one, 13 minutes in, 60% of the possession. A bit of a defensive mess there, it could have been. There's nobody in black where that ball landed, thankfully for AV Alta.
Speaking of being in black, I'm seeing both Mike Avery and Brian Clavin still dressed up for the occasion here this evening. I'm wondering if they'll persist as the summer goes along. Ghaffar drilling it centrally to Ricol. It's a poor touch. Kabiru Ghaffar looking to link up with Ricol for the 2nd straight game. And well, he did link up with him, but Recall couldn't convert with the opportunity.
Yeah, the ball had a little too much pace on it for Recall to be able to stretch and redirect it goalward. There was a player right behind him, might have been Taig Healy. I was hoping it would fall to him.
Kabiru Ghaffar making his first start in that game against AC Boise. And he was able to help assist an early goal in that game to really set the tone. That pressure once again doing some numbers on AV Alta here.
Yeah, when you love to play with the ball and you can't get a hold of it, it gets a little frustrating. I'm sure they'll ease their way into this game as we go along, but Brian Claiborne with some worrying signs here early on.
Not often are they a side that's on the disadvantaged end of possession. That was the case on Wednesday against El Paso Locomotive, but that's against a championship side, so you have the pre-made excuse there. But he did say that he felt they played well for about 70 minutes in that game and then just had a little bit of a mess to let it get out of hand. You lose 2-0 though on the road against El Paso Locomotive. Bigger teams in USL Championship have fallen victim in worse ways this season on the road there at Southwest University Park. But Jabril Doumbia, who had to step in for Denzel Smith in that game at the goalkeeping spot, had quite the performance.
Yeah, Brian Claiborne said he's just happy when they can play these USL Championship sides and prove themselves, how they can perform against the next level. Obviously, he gets to do that a ton this season in the Brinks Tires USL Cup.
Yeah, you could argue they've been dealt a rough hand as the only group in the tournament with just one USL League One team, so every single one of their matches in the competition is against a team in the tier above them.
And with 2 losses now, basically eliminated from progressing in that USL Brinks Tires Cup, so perhaps Brian Claiborne will get to mess around a little bit in the last couple of group games. See some players he might not get to see so much in league play. It's the one positive sort of about the setup of this competition.
They certainly have a good pool of young talent to pick from too, so a chance to give some young guys the opportunity to go up against players who have that USL experience at a championship club. Rempel working his way outside of his boot, trying to clip it into the box. Jordan got a piece of it, but ultimately is lobbed away from Recall.
Yeah, the final ball has been lacking a little bit in the final third from Fort Wayne. Other than that early save from Denzel Smith, he really hasn't been tested despite the amount of possession and touches in and around the box so far.
Mike Avery, the head man in charge of Fort Wayne, very complimentary of this AV Alta team and felt this was going to be an entertaining game. He mentioned that their performances were good even before this recent string of results have gone their way, which, by the way, 3 straight in league play for AV Alta, 3 wins. And as he mentioned earlier, he brought up the fact that you would think having to play 3 games in a week would be a disadvantage, but Fort Wayne just came off a 3-game week and ended up punching AC Boise in the mouth as Bahena has that blocked away for a corner kick. Thiago Dias sliding in to intervene.
Yeah, it'll be another busy week coming up starting next weekend for AV Alta. 3 straight home games in an 8-day span. Orange County in the Cup, they've also lost 2 games. That should be a wide open, fun contest. Sarasota and then Spokane on the 13th.
First set piece opportunity, at least. There was the 1 free kick that was a good distance from goal that they didn't even opt to play towards goal. This will be a proper corner kick though for AV Alta. Villalobos tried to be settled in. Ghaffar was there, and he'll play it out to Recall. Brian Claiborne mentioned that this Fort Wayne team, their opposition in this game, do a great job of mixing possession with going vertical, as in enjoying having the ball and sometimes trying to catch you sleeping. Mentioned they're going to have to try to defend with having the ball and prevent transition moments. I guess you could say they've kept the second of those 2 bullet points in check, but they haven't been able to enjoy much possession so far in this game.
It's a real great mix, this Fort Wayne side, of a couple of USL veterans, a lot of first-year guys, international guys with experience as well. But it's the rookies that have really shone so far for Mike Avery.
Well, and some of those veterans you're referring to haven't been able to play.
Yep.
Ryan Betcher, a guy. Javier Armas, although no experience in League One prior to this season, has experience as a pro. And then James Musa, whom is getting close, but not quite back yet. A guy with a ton of USL Championship experience. So it has been sort of trial by fire for these field players, with the savvy Bernd Shipman in goal, standing behind them, trying to offer guidance where he can.
Yeah, without recall and Healy, you think Shipman may be the player of the season, made some huge saves so far. Watch out.
Gafar into the middle, recall, the back heel! Oh. Awudor sprays it wide.
I almost wonder if he'd been better off letting it run across him and smash it with the left. Poor giveaway. Good pressure there, though, by Gafar. Lovely little back heel by Recall. He had to be quick with it. Did Awudor. Snatched it a little bit with his right foot, and as a result, just wide of Denzel Smith's post.
It was actually Emerson Nieto, one of the holding midfielders, getting up and involved. Couldn't put it on frame. Another big opportunity going to the wayside for Fort Wayne.
Alta still waiting for their first shot of any kind. Past the 20-minute mark here. It's been all one-way traffic left to right so far.
A lopsided pitch up to this point, and the pitch has favored the home side Fort Wayne, who are unbeaten at their new home, despite how many games they've had here in the month of May to open it up. Awudor inside for Jordan. Play it back to Thiago Dias.
Yeah, I love this role that JP Jordan plays. He's a right back, but he's playing as an attacking central midfielder right now. He's being allowed that free role to pinch in and get involved when he can.
Ball drilled in centrally. Awudor hunting for that one. And Pajaro taking a gash there on the contest for the ball.
It was a good bit of defending to get goal side of Awudor. Awudor clattered into him after the clearance. Take another look at it here. What a lovely ball that was. And the cross had the pace and direction as well. Awudor just finding himself sandwiched between 2 men in white. Just couldn't find enough space to get a touch on this one. Great covering across. Pelivanov it was in the end.
Pelivanov and Pajaro, the 2 center backs. The 2 making the bread of that sandwich.
Brian Claiborne talked about the fact he wants AV Alta to be a selling club. And those 2 young centre-backs will certainly be getting some looks from leagues above with the way they're playing.
Especially with what they're tasked to do. These are not center-backs that are expected to only defend, but also help play out the back for this AV Alta team.
Good chat with Brian Claiborne about the way he plays and how he goes about finding players. He said he really does look worldwide for guys that will fit the profile for his team. He says sometimes it's hard to find guys to commit to play to him for this, playing the way they play. When they're here, they obviously got such a great start last season. Things fell apart a little bit in the second half, but he's shown that this kind of play can work in League One.
Fort Wayne switching it over to the left-hand side. Rempel's accompanied by Aoudor. Plays into Healy, who returns the favor. When it works, it really works for this AV Alta team. And Fort Wayne have finally been able to develop their proof of concept here in the month of May. As time has gone along, and they've been able to really get their footing. I mean, it's difficult when you have a spaced out schedule all on the road to start the year as an inaugural club. At least inaugural in the professional ranks. Here's Gaffar, back to Jordan. Jeremy Garay. Gaffar will turn it back out to Jordan. I'll shift over to the left-hand side now, see if they can wiggle some space free closer to goal. Just testing out this AV Alta defensive structure. Spro walking forward. I'll take Healy getting involved out wide. Healy rips it back across to Rempel. He cuts it to Aoudor. A sustained spell of possession here for Fort Wayne. Sproat out wide.
We didn't think this game would look like the Champions League final so far, but 25 minutes in it, it's looked exactly that. 28% possession for AV Alta. It's going to be a yellow card, I think, for the handball. The two lowest possession games this year, 42% against Spokane, a 3-1 loss away from home, and then they only had 37% possession against Madison at home, but won that one 2-0. So they can win without the ball as well. We didn't see it from that angle, but yeah, stopping a promising attack there was Reed Sproat with the hand. So he's the first one in the books.
Yellow cards tonight are presented by Arnold Terrell Riddenauer, attorneys at law, protecting your rights on and off the pitch. Reed Sproat with his second yellow card of the season. Watch the USL Championship in Spanish on 2DN, the nation's leading Spanish language sports network. Go to uslchampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings.
Goals flying in elsewhere, Mark. 2-2 now. Charlotte and Chattanooga. 1-1 in Portland between them and Spokane. Richmond up 1-0 at the half. AC Boys are losing again, this time on the road.
Corner kick here for AV Alta. It always feels like those Charlotte-Chattanooga games always have some element of chaos to them over the years.
Yes, two very different styles there as well.
Godwin Antwi walks his way over to the corner flag.
Still looking for their first shot of the game. 27+ minutes in. Will we find it here?
Curling it goes, and does not appear to be the case, Ross. You mentioned how young this Fort Wayne team is, and Mike Avery said, we've watched a lot of guys mature before our eyes. Obviously, Tate Healy and Lilian Recall have taken a lot of the limelight due to their goal scoring, but they've also really grown as press and repressors. And you mentioned if you're just a 22 to 23-year-old pro, you need minutes in order to grow as a player.
Yeah, and I'm sure Mike Avery said, hey, you will get a ton. It's hard to believe coaches sometimes, but obviously this stadium a big part of the attraction for some of these young pros. And the crowd that's been filling in here as these games have gone on. Not quite finished yet, as you can see the low level on the far side there and on the right-hand side as well, but we'll be done soon. We'll see another new stadium open this week, Mark, in Greenville on Wednesday night. Also will not be fully complete. As long as the fans fill in there, create the atmosphere, it'll certainly feel like it is.
Love seeing the new venues being tacked on. Soccer-specific venues at that. For teams in this league is
a loose hand.
Yeah, Gafar this time gets hit in the face. And when you're talking about fans, there's a really interesting interaction that happened earlier on in the season, Ross, for AV Alta, where it was not a good start to the season results-wise for this team. And after a couple of games, Brian Clavin, after a home match where it was another disappointing result, went over to the supporter group and told them to hang tight with this team, that he believes in these guys and that the results are going to come. And then lo and behold, it has turned around. And I asked Brian Clavin sort of about that night and what has changed since then. And he first mentioned that, look, the fans are the reason we play, and they had every right to be a little bit rowdy with how the season started. But he wanted to communicate that this team was working really hard, and there was a lot of things to be positive about as this shot skips wide. And there's our first shot of the game for AV Alta.
Took nearly a half hour. Yeah, Brian Clavin, you see a big Argentinian factor in his background, and that's a big South American thing, right? You'll see the coaches and the players sometimes go over to the ultras when things aren't going so well and apologize for how things have been going. But yeah, Brian Clavin got in early. Obviously with the rough half to the second half last year as well, things were perhaps boiling over a little bit, but they've bounced back nicely over the last 3 games.
And just to re-harp on that Cosmos game over the weekend, that's the sort of reward you get for the patience as a fan with a team like that. A 4-0 drubbing, and every single goal something worth ogling over.
You gotta remember, they did have a very tough schedule to start with. Portland, Chattanooga, Union Omaha, Spokane, and Boise. All playing very, very good football. Maybe Portland not so much at the moment, but the other 4 certainly playing good football to start the season.
You look at that Portland team and you see a squad that could play very well.
Yeah, I think it'll come around.
Here's Desdune. Cutting it to Almesh. His pass, booted away by Diash. Haven't had to say Adam Almesh's name too often just yet. AV Alta will want to change that. Healy taps it over. Abudor playing it out wide. Recall will be running. Play goes on. Recall stepping inside. Played out wide. Gafar now with the ball.
That's one of the rare transition moments we've seen tonight, Mark. The team's shutting that side of the game down. Oh.
Alassane taking that one in the back. This one given away. Healy trying to feed it centrally.
Thought maybe the man with the finishing ability that he's shown this season, Healy, would think about having a crack there. Tried to pass it instead. Didn't work out. AV Alta just having all sorts of trouble building out from the back. In this one so far, Fort Wayne doing a superb job of just disrupting the style of football that AV Alta want to play. And it's starting in that final third, not letting them get comfortable back there when they lose possession.
Take Healy having scored in all but 1 game here at Ruoff Mortgage Stadium so far, and that was the last one against Corpus Christi. 1-1 draw. So by his standards, his worst performance so far he's had at the Roo.
I was going to say, what's wrong with it? Looks back on it tonight, though.
Nieto trying to get that one to Gafar. Play goes on. Jordan, he's knocked over, and that'll learn a whistle.
That was a nasty challenge.
Bulldozing through is Mabumu Alassane.
Claiming it was shoulder to shoulder, but that was just a little bit of frustration, I think, from how the first 30-plus minutes, certainly not shoulder to shoulder, it was more knee to knee. Oof, JP Jordan did well to get up from that one as quickly as he did. Alassane certainly deserving of the card.
Yellow cards tonight presented by Arnold Terrell Riddenauer Attorneys at Law, protecting your rights on and off the pitch. First booking of the evening for AV Alta.
I don't think they would take Alassane's case on that one. Not a winnable one. Now a dangerous free kick for Rempel to swing it.
Yeah, that would take a lot of work with the jury to win over Hearts there. Rempel. Can he serve up from this distance? Well, he earns his team a throw-in instead.
Yeah, I think he was trying to catch AV Alta as well as Denzel Smith, napping a little bit at that near post. They were ready for it.
So now he'll have his luck at providing something with his arms. Nodded along by Diash nicely. Awudor squares it over to Recall. Not a clean hit.
I'm not sure if Awudor knew how much space he was in there. What a kick that is by Denzel Smith.
Bahena couldn't quite settle it down. Awudor turning. Draws a foul, and some indignance being met there by Miguel Pajaro.
Yeah, he's got to be careful. He was claiming that he got the foot in there, but there was too much contact on the body side of things. Here's that half chance here. Awudor did have some traffic in front of him, but I think perhaps he had enough space to strike one with the left foot. He was looking for Recall. For good reason.
I was going to say, it is never a bad idea to find the French striker, but ten more minutes plus stoppage time to go here in the first half. Fort Wayne having the bulk of just about everything so far, but have yet to truly test Denzel Smith. Clearance up the pitch. Sliding in is Alassane. You can see the mark he left on the pitch.
I do see a lot of sand kick up on this Fort Wayne pitch, but it seems to play pretty true. Ball rolls nice and smoothly still. I'm not a groundskeeper, so I'm not going to question it.
And I don't believe it's sand. It's some sort of special mixture. I don't know the correct way to describe because it's not turf beads either. It's a special filling, as I've heard it described.
Okay.
That's supposed to keep it from getting as warm when the sun is on it. I think filling was the word I heard used.
I have seen the ones when I've been refereeing that have the little wood chips now. A lot safer for you, apparently, than pieces of tire. Whoa, easy, Lilia.
Oh, friendly shove thrown there against Nick Relaford. Leon Recall, the one extending the arm. Also guilty of the push on the back, so a little interaction there between the right back and the striker. Well, it's a game where both teams like to have possession, and so far it's been Fort Wayne who have had their way with it. Both these teams like having the ball, and maybe it's because it's a Select ball. Select proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL League One. From the grassroots to the pros, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select product specials and more.
Such a beautiful transition, too. You
the
set
player's
that up
choice. Yeah, I know. I had it all done, and it's just...
It's all right.
A lot of dots and dashes in that that hyperlink. Got to make sure you get it all down, or else
listen, I can't say anything. When I was a play-by-play guy, I missed a goal completely reading it and doing an ad read, so...
We all have our moments. We'll go back to the tape and review it, and we'll be better next week.
Maybe Alta fans will not want to look at the XG at halftime, unless things improve here in the last 7 minutes. 0.03 so far.
And that's come off of just that one shot they had, really.
Didn't mention, obviously, the midweek game, but half the team did not start that contest. A number of changes coming into this one. And one of them was in goal.
Garay guilty of the foul there.
It'll be interesting to see if Brian Claver makes any tactical changes at the break. He's obviously not going to change the way his team plays, but just move some guys around a little bit, try and get some control of this ball, especially in the midfield. They're just being dominated there at the moment. You mentioned you barely said Adam Almesh's name much. Cesar Bahena, I don't think has been involved at all.
And that's an irregular occurrence when Bahena is not having his name said frequently.
He does have one of the only 2 touches inside the box for AV Alta. Godwin Entwi has not been involved much at all. Only 6 touches so far for the right winger.
That could not be kept in play by Almesh. Once again, relinquishing possession.
Bahena does have 22 touches himself, but most of those have not been in the final third. Oops. It's the first sort of poor bit of play we've seen from Fort Wayne tonight. Other than perhaps their finishing. Still 0-0 as a result here. Anybody's game coming into the last 5 minutes of this first half.
Nieto goes down.
AV Alta's frustration with our referee tonight. Alex Beeler continues. I think he's called everything pretty fairly. He hasn't let them get away with too much physical stuff.
So 5 minutes plus stoppage time left to go here. As you just mentioned, Fort Wayne, a lot of good to glean, but it remains 0-0. Could be something promising here. Well dealt with by Christian Ortiz. Healy has a go, and it's easy to deal with for Denzel Smith.
We've obviously seen the frustration on the AV Alta side of things, but Fort Wayne perhaps getting a little frustrated. Tyke Healy, we've seen him blame himself a couple of times tonight for wrong decisions. They've dominated this first half completely and had nothing to show for it so far.
Des Dune with some room to operate here. Plays it over to Almesh. Adam Almesh. Cutting inside. Able to get that one away to Des Dune. Almost like a double back. He'll use both his feet.
Lovely little touch there by Alassane.
Bahena making his way in deeper. Trying to enjoy some of the ball here, AV Alta.
This might be the longest spell of possession we've seen, Mark, in 42 minutes.
And it's not usually something you should be surprised to see with this team, but it has not been the regular occurrence today. Antwi doesn't get it very far, and out it goes. They're going to take this quickly.
We see Leon Ricole and Tyke Healy helping back on defense. That was something Mike Avery said that those two weren't used to doing much of in college. He's got them to work hard on tracking back and helping out when needed.
Turn couldn't be taken forward, but some pressure wins it right back for AV Alta. This is the best they've looked in this match. Villalobos. Bahena rolling it out to the right-hand side for Antwi. This is a guy who can make something happen all by himself. Sending inside so nicely. Just skipping ahead of Ortiz. Well, talking about making something happen, Godwin Antwi putting it on a platter for a wide open Ortiz. At least that was the intention. Maybe just a step too far.
Another player holding their face tonight. Seen a lot of these. Yeah, that was a beautiful ball in. T's making that run all the way from his left back spot. Just couldn't get a toe on it. Aaron Shipman was completely beaten in no man's land. He just had to kind of stand there and watch and hope that he didn't get a touch on it. As Cole holding the nose.
Ghaffar rushing all by himself. Hits the brakes. Knocked over. Free kick incoming. Ghaffar with his second straight start.
Pelivanov coming over to help. He was asking the assistant referee why he didn't wave his flag. It was certainly in his area to potentially call the free kick. Let's take another look at it here. Certainly a little bit of a soft one, especially in that area of the field. Ghaffar went down rather easily. That's perhaps what Pelivanov was saying. I barely touched him, ref.
Kapiro Ghaffar, a player that Mike Avery described as a great athlete with a high ceiling. Thinks that he has a lot of room to grow, can clean up stuff technically, but covers so much ground pressing and sets the standard on that side of things. Ball ripped in, and it goes over the head of Smith, and they'll end up getting the whistle in their favor as we see 1 minute of stoppage time added on. Fans, when you need more time, call more. Tonight's stoppage time is brought to you by More Wealth Management, helping you plan for the future both on and off the pitch. More Wealth Management, proud sponsor of Fort Wayne FC stoppage time.
It wasn't not the most convincing bit of goalkeeping from that man, Denzel Smith, but he got bailed out a little bit. There was a bit of contact. I'm not sure how much of it was initiated by a Fort Wayne player.
Recall, is it back to Abudor? Just gets away from him. Will we even get another moment here? JP Jordan stepping in, and we hit that extra added minute.
Yeah, JP Jordan knew what he was doing there. Good awareness of how much time is left in this first half, perhaps. Slight professional foul. Could have got a yellow card there if he wasn't going sideways. It looks like it'll be it for this first half.
So 0-0 your scoreline in a game where Fort Wayne have been the favorites on the ball, but haven't quite been that lethal to really test Denzel Smith. So 0-0 is the score you get.
Yeah, plenty of things to think about in the halftime break here for both of these coaches. Mike Avery has to figure out how to turn this possessional advantage into goals. Brian Claiborne, how to get back into this game.
Halftime content coming up next on ESPN+. 0-0 your scoreline.
With new Millionaire for Life from the Hoosier Lottery, you have the chance to win $1 million every year for life, which means there's more room for play than ever before. This year, next year, and every year after that. There are millions of reasons to play new Millionaire for Life from the Hoosier Lottery. Champions of play.
At Trine University, we are thunderous. But how do we get that way? One rumble at a time. Every challenge faced, every insight earned, every setback surmounted puts you on the path to exceed all expectations, yours included. It's why Trine graduates have an over 99% employment rate and make noise in whatever field we choose. What kind of noise, you ask? Here's a hint. Hear more at trine.edu.
Partnership between O&E, Orthopedics Northeast, and Parkview Sports Medicine is unique because our team is taking care of the athlete in their own environment on the field. O&E is the other end of our treatment when someone actually does have an injury that requires a specialist care.
We have athletic trainers, we have the physical therapists, and everyone's important. Everyone has a role to play because our goal is the same. We're just trying to get these athletes back to doing what they love to do.
Halftime tonight is brought to you by Modelo, a beer brewed with character, tradition, and a fighting spirit. As the teams recharge in the locker room, take a moment to grab a cold Modelo and get ready for an exciting second half of Fort Wayne FC soccer. Modelo, the mark of a fighter. Please enjoy responsibly. All right, well, the World Cup is coming and 3 USL teams are hosting national teams. Let's find out who those 3 teams are.
Before the World Cup can begin, 48 national teams need a home. And home is a lot more than a practice field.
They wanted a beautiful grass field and in a sort of secure facility with great access to gyms and all the other pieces around.
Dan Rutstein had the honor of handing the keys to Orange County SC's entire facility to the U.S. men's national team. Why does it matter to you to have the U.S. national team at your facility?
Look, if you can't get excited about a World Cup, then we shouldn't be in this business. It's obviously an enormous opportunity. We're happy for them. It's a great facility. We're happy for us. We're happy for our fans. So we can be talked about in the same breath as the home nation in a home World Cup.
Orange County is joined by the Oakland Roots, who will host the Australian national team, and the Tampa Bay Rowdies hosting first-time World Cup team Cape Verde. When clubs spend multiple weeks in one building, the facility must accommodate an entire support system, not just the players. In a large country like the United States, travel can take a toll. Cape Verde's Tampa home sets up short flights to Atlanta, Miami, and Houston for its group matches. Australia will play matches in Vancouver, Seattle, and nearby Santa Clara. The U.S. team's longest journey is Seattle, sandwiched between 2 group matches in Los Angeles. But as the World Cup takes place, it's business as usual for the USL Championship. For Orange County, a worthwhile temporary adjustment.
We're still training next door. The short-term pain of being not allowed to use our stadium for the medium and long-term gain of working with the US national team, we could never say no to an opportunity like that.
I mean, how cool is that to have 3 nations inhabiting USL Championship abodes? And boy, I mean, Orange County, really good spot for the U.S. men's national team to be parked. So really excited about that. I'm also excited about The Experience, which is a show that the USL's been doing on YouTube, highlighting the fan experience in different places. AC Boise is their most recent episode. Let's go take a peek at the teaser.
I think Idahoans have been clamoring for something that is theirs.
Feel a big sense of responsibility to do this right. You only get one first season.
For me, without soccer, it's like there's no air. Having it here, I feel like I can breathe again. Boise's never had anything like this.
Be sure to check that out on the USL's YouTube page. And be sure to stay locked in here on ESPN+. We've got some more halftime content coming up next. Right now, it's 0-0 between Fort Wayne and AV Alta. We'll see you after this break.
Away for Tampa Bay. and then you need to stop and smell the roses. Or the leaves, rocks, trees, sticks, and that one tree again.
This summer, get 1,000 bonus points and a chance to win 250,000 bonus points.
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Pain doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way. Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power. Trusted for over 100 years, our proven blend of camphor, menthol, and essential oils tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger, so that you can rise above pain and get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
At Ruoff Mortgage, we understand that you don't just need a mortgage. You need someone who knows your kid's name, your dream for a backyard, and that this is more than a house. At Ruoff, we've got your person, the one you'll lean on from your pre-approval to the closing table. Your loan officer will be there with you every step of the way. The right home begins with the right person by your side.
Welcome back to halftime, presented by Modelo. 0-0 between Fort Wayne and AV Alta FC. Mark Schoenster, Ross Davenport with you here, and we're about to be joined by Dan Lucas, who is going to give us a halftime update, catching us up on things happening all around USL. So, Dan, I'm going to hand it to you to take it away from here.
The first half is in the books in USL League One. We hope you're enjoying the match so far. I'm Dan Lucas inside the USL studio with the headlines from the week. One expansion club stunned another in Week 12. Fort Wayne handed AC Boise its first home defeat after Boise began the season with a very impressive 5-game unbeaten run at home in all competitions. Boise's streak is the 5th longest to begin an inaugural season in League One history. Don't look now, but 2 red-hot clubs have jumped above the playoff line and hope to climb even higher. Charlotte Independence defeated Forward Madison 3-1 to run its unbeaten streak to 4 matches, moving into 6th place in the League One table. And sitting 1 point behind them is AV Alta, who also has a 4-game unbeaten run, capped by a 4-0 victory against the New York Cosmos. AV Alta moves into the 8th spot in the League One table. Congratulations to Spokane Velocity goalkeeper Sean Lewis for collecting his 200th career save, a USL League One record. His regular season totals in League One include 72 appearances, 26 shutouts, and a save percentage above 75. League One and the USL Championship have loaded the month of June with national spotlight broadcasts. CBS Sports Network will feature the Tampa Bay Rowdies and Charleston Battery, and Las Vegas Lights against Orange County. ESPN2 will feature Forward Madison against Fort Wayne. This is the USL Halftime Update. Let's get you back out to your match.
Fort Wayne and Fort Madison on ESPN2 coming up in June. That'll be exciting. In the second half, we're hoping it'll be exciting after this break on ESPN+.
What does success look like to you? At Purdue University Fort Wayne, you have what it takes. In the herd, your voice will be heard, and you'll be able to lead, inspire, create, and succeed. When you earn your Purdue degree in our thriving city, you can have an impact, and that impact can change the world.
Ruoff Mortgage, we understand that you don't just need a mortgage. You need someone who knows your kid's name, your dream for a backyard, and that this is more than a house. At Ruoff, we've got your person, the one you'll lean on from your pre-approval to the closing table. Your loan officer will be there with you every step of the way. The right home begins with the right person by your side.
This isn't the best seat in the house. This is. Because sometimes the best seat isn't even a seat at all. It can be anywhere, at any time, but not with just anyone. It's the only seat where you can watch your neighbor Manuel cry for the very first time, and where your passion is amplified by the sound of your people. It's a seat that any beer would love to have, but only the cerveza for football can. Modelo, the cerveza for football.
And we're back here at Ruoff Mortgage Stadium. Just a couple more moments away from the second half getting started here between Fort Wayne and AV Alta. Mark Schoenster, Ross Davenport with you on ESPN+. Let's catch you up on everything that took place in the first half of action. Two teams that both love having the ball, but you're going to see the bulk of these players are going to be on one end of the pitch because it was Fort Wayne, the home team, that ended up having the bulk of the chances throughout this game.
Yeah, this was a good early chance here by Tate Healy. On the rebound, you'll see him forcing the best save of the game so far by Denzel Smith, low down to his right.
There's a shot there from Emerson Nieto to challenge the goalkeeper. And then this, really the only chance in the first half for AV Alta to do anything.
And Christian Ortiz pinching in from his left back spot, getting involved in the middle of the park, letting one unleash from nearly 30 yards, but harmlessly past Burton Shipman's post.
Play would continue. There are a couple of these half chances here for Fort Wayne where they didn't quite conjure up a proper challenge on goal.
Yeah, just a decision making in the box at times, whether the pass or shoot. That was just a poor pass in the end from Amador, forcing Recall to backpedal. Couldn't get any power on that shot, but these stats really do tell the story of how this first half went. 39% possession for AV Alta. I mentioned they have won one game this year with possession in that realm, but got some work to do in this second half, but still 0-0 for now.
Halftime stats are presented by the Hoosier Lottery, celebrating Indiana winners on and off the field while supporting communities throughout the state. Hoosier Lottery, champions of play. We'll see if those numbers teeter in one direction or the other here in the second half of action now that both sides have had a chance to sort of disseminate what they were able to see from their opposition in the first half of action.
And we'll see if AV Alta come out like a new team here. First half very, very disappointing by their standards. Obviously, it's been a long week. Haven't been home for a week. Sleeping in strange beds. First in El Paso, now here in Fort Wayne. We saw them start to come back into it a little bit in the last 5 minutes with one good long spell of possession. See if any tweaks come along here by Brian Clayman.
And although you can point to those numbers and look at what the eye test tells you, the fact of the matter is we're still at a level playing field, 0-0. So for all of what you could glean from that first half, this second half could look entirely different, and whatever transpired in the first 45 is irrelevant as far as the result is concerned.
Yeah, it could be a little smash and grab by AV Alta if they can find the back of the net here. Pull off the 1-0 win. Jerry does do a lot of good forward runs in that first half.
So the two teams switch ends, and they'll look to see what they can do facing the opposite direction. Last of what has been a busy spell here at Ruoff Mortgage Stadium in the month of May. They opened it up on the 2nd and then have had 5 more games, counting this one, since that game. This one will be launched over to the left-hand side. And we get going once again. Mark Schoenster, Ross Davenport with you here on the broadcast. How do these two teams take shape here in the second 45 minutes? Healy trying to connect with Recall. See some frustration with the unsuccessful attempt there.
Yeah, that's one thing AV Alta did do well in that first half, is sort of limit Teg Healy to half chances. We've seen so far this season with his 5 goals how dangerous he can be when given just half a step in that box. Great finishing ability. The rookie out of NC State.
Whistle sounds from our head official, Alex Beeler. Take it quickly for Fort Wayne. Garay was looking for Rempel. He's taken off the ball. Nick Elliford doing well defensively there.
Oh.
Well, that was a dangerous
That's
jump.
the end of the night for Alisson. He's done, because he's already on 1 yellow, and there's the second. And not the way AV Alta wanted to start this second half. My.
Mabumu Alisson with his 2nd yellow, and he just straight up missed on that bouncing ball, went up in the air, and all he got was player.
Not sure how much contact there was, but when you're on a yellow card, this is not the kind of decision you make. It was almost like a karate kick, and yeah, there was. That's just absolute nonsense from Mabumu Alisson. It's going to be a long trip back home for that man.
Red card tonight are presented by Arnold Taylor Rittenauer, attorneys at law, protecting your rights on and off the pitch. And well, you're hoping to come out with a different energy coming into the second half of your AV Alta, and now it's an immediate vibe shift, as now we have to turn our attention to Emerson Nieto, whom you're hoping is doing all right after taking what looked like he caught the knee of Alisson there.
It's just mind-blowing that you would try to make, I don't even know what that was, Mark. He almost tried to karate kick and just, I don't know, he just misjudged the ball. What it does is now negates everything that this man just had to tell his team at halftime.
I remember one time hearing somebody say about this game that then he would argue conceding right at the end of the first half is a gut punch, but what's even worse is conceding right after the second half starts, because you don't actually get to have that debriefing in the locker room. And although, of course, this isn't a goal, but it's equally as game-changing in a way as far as how you have to approach the game.
I mean, a lot of pressure now on Jimmy Villalobos. Does Brian Claben stick with him as the lone pivot? There's a lot of pressure on him, and stay with the 4 in front of him, do a sort of 4-1, 3-1. Emerson Nieto still feeling that challenge. Certainly could have been a lot worse, I think. Like Alisson mostly missed. Thankfully, it's more of a glancing blow.
It's the 3rd red card this season for AV Alta, which ties them with Corpus Christi for the most this season. Rempel ripping that one in. It skips through. Diash had such an open look, and his reaction paints the picture. Here's a look on the instant replay presented by Bowen Health, caring for the mental wellness of our community every day.
Perhaps the design play out. Obviously, Diaz more likely in there for his heading ability, and hands to the face. He knew what that meant. Could have easily been 1-0. I'm sure Fort Wayne here want to pounce and make AV Alta pay immediately for that red card. Almost did.
Here's Kabiru Ghaffar. Got his first assist last game in league play. Good work here from Ortiz. Soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site, SeatGeek. your ticket to great seats. Not a bad seat in the house here at Ruoff Mortgage Stadium, Ross, as now this Fort Wayne team up a player. Look to send those seated over in the Hive with something to celebrate.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome when those standing room seats behind the right-hand goal get open, because they're almost right on top of the goalkeeper. Always get some good banter going back there, but it looks like maybe Alta going to kind of go to a 4-1-4 here. Drop Bahena back a little bit to more of his midfield role for now.
Adam Almesh given a yellow card. Yellow cards presented by Arnold Terrell Riddenauer, attorneys at law, as we see. Whoa.
A little bit of a grab as well. JP Jordan shoving each other. I think for the, was it for the shove on the face right here? That's a little bit of a harsh yellow, I think. A bit of handbags, as we'd say in England.
Arnold Terrell Riddenauer, attorneys at law, protecting your rights on and off the pitch. And whereas earlier you mentioned Alisson's first foul, actually, his first yellow card, not one that you could really defend.
Yeah.
This one maybe has a case there. Oops. Jordan stumbles. Here's Almesh. Once again, they're grabbing at each other. If you're the ref, you're trying to get that cleaned up rather quickly.
Oh, and the ball is rolling. Maybe Alta looking to press a little bit here. You can see pushing 5 forward now.
JP Jordan, who's been getting involved here in these recent stretches, for better or for worse. Spent a lot of time at the right back position this season. Listed as a midfielder on the roster, but they really view him as a right back coming into this squad from the perspective of Mike Avery. But he can play in the middle of the pitch as well. And the fact of the matter is they really like him out there because he's such a good one-on-one defender, and there's a lot of really good wingers in this league. And him and Michael Rempel do a really good job of making it difficult on those guys and sort of canceling them out. Plus, they've got some good rotation in the middle of the pitch, so they just got to find a spot to put in JP Jordan because he's a talented player. Once again, players tumbling over like dominoes here. It's Jordan now, Mesh.
The commentator's jinx. Jordan gets a little bit twisted and turned around by Almesh. Commits the foul. Yeah, we mentioned earlier how much he loves to get involved in pitching into the middle as well. He's got a great engine. You have to be able to do that kind of work. Get back to your full-back position. A chance here for AV Alta.
Well, these are the opportunities that you're going to have to try and take if you're down a player. An interesting set-piece opportunity. It'll be Des Dune on the ball. Squaring it across. And Tweet. One-timer, and that'll go over top.
Interesting set-piece play. I think I'd rather have just got the ball into the mixer and see what happened. Sometimes you overthink these things.
First changes of the game starting to prepare themselves for Brian Claben, and you imagine what he may have planned to be the first subs are not what he's going to have to execute now, realizing he's down a player, and you got to figure out somewhere along the lines where you're going to fill in the gaps and change that formation. Rempel plays this one back into the favors returned. Awudor. Pulls it back. It's Nieto again.
You see Jerry Desdu now chasing as the lone striker.
Rempel. Player goes down in the box. That's Leon Recall. No whistle. But there will be a whistle there as Desdune goes to ground.
Brian Claiborne's had a few minutes to think about things, and this is the changes that are going to be made. Osvaldo Ley coming in. Adam Amash, which is an interesting substitution. Clearly, Brian Claiborne going to try and hold on for the draw here, you'd imagine. Osvaldo Ley more of a defensive midfielder.
And Colin Anderson in for Antwi. Also worth noting, Amash did pick up that yellow card earlier, and let's just say there were other interactions after that fact, so perhaps also some precautionary measures being taken there too.
Anderson, unlikely. Well, we'll see if he maybe goes up top and allows Desdune to drop a little deeper. Looks like Desdune will go out to the right side where Antwi was. Here he is now. Nearly was.
Close but not cigar. It's worth noting, this is the second game here in Fort Wayne that the home side have gone up a man. Bubu Medina was sent off with a red card in that game against Corpus Christi in the 72nd minute. Fort Wayne unable to find a winner in that one, but they're hunting here. Gafar blocked nicely. Pelivanov in his face.
Pelivanov, a block that hurt there. He's still trying to recover on the edge of the box. He'll take one for the team sometimes, and that one certainly was the case. Pelivanov is down. Interesting decision by our referee. It's not a rule, as somebody said. Yes, if it's not a head injury, I don't know why you stop play there.
Well, sometimes you can't help but a ref feeling some sympathy, even if it's not in the rule book.
Yes, you might not want to watch one certain gender here. Oh, my word.
He gets right back up. I think at that point you're just huffing and puffing and just waiting for some reprieve.
You see the look on his face. Fort Wayne saying, listen, the game shouldn't really have stopped, and now we're taking all this time. Pelivanov trying to work it off.
That's going to say, work it out of the system.
Not sure what conversation is going on here.
I was going to say, he needs to get a hug from Denzel Smith. A thank you hug.
It obviously has to go off. I think maybe that's what they were complaining about. The referee certainly helped Davey Alta out by making that decision to stop the game, despite the non-head injury.
So they'll look at a potential option over here on the bench. Pelivanov, the one aching. Eric Ceja Gonzalez, we talked about, has plugged in recent games and done well. So depending on if the pain can be worked out of the system here for the Bulgarian center back. Certainly has our empathy over here in the broadcast booth.
Potentially saved a goal, though. It's a good stretching stop.
Rempel trying to find Abu Dor. He's too far away.
As we see Pelivanov still trying to run it off on the sideline here. Davey Alta down to 9 for the time being.
Nieto. Healy steps inside. Take Healy. Lets it rip, but it's ultimately always rising. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesday nights. Plus hear live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app.
Pelivanov just waiting for this ball to be kicked by Denzel Smith, and he'll be back on. You see him there, lower right corner of your screen. Still waiting to come on. The referee has to beckon him on.
Desdoon. Knocked over by Nieto.
Now he will beckon Pelivanov on. I'm not sure what the... Well, Nieto claiming he got the ball. A lot of these pro players even still believe in that myth. Yeah, he got the toe in there. Perhaps a little harshly done by there, Nieto.
The myth you're referring to, by the way, for those unacquainted, which is the idea that if you get ball, then no matter what the challenge was, it's clean.
Yeah, there certainly wasn't any nastiness in that challenge from Nieto. This dude just kind of fell over his leg. See if AV Alta can take advantage of that gift.
Desdoon. Not much there, as now Recall will break forward. He's got Gaffar running with him.
Forgot something.
Recall trying to make up for the lost time. Plays it back to Gaffar, or excuse me, to Garay. Healy. Garay out to Recall. Now trying to be on the service end of the ball. Playing it into Gaffar. He has it once more. Recall. Good defending. Just cleared up the pitch and get it out of harm's way for a moment. We were seeing this in the first half when it was 11v11, so now you're anticipating seeing it again here in the second. Nieto. Played back to him by Healy. Nieto lifting it in, caught by Denzel Smith.
And our first final score of the evening, Portland with the 2-1 comeback win over Spokane.
Big result.
Yeah, maybe that'll get them going a little bit. 3-2 Independence with 3 minutes to go there, and 2-2. Boys, you've come back to tie that one in Virginia. Goals flying in elsewhere. This is the only scoreless game so far tonight. Cosmos winning in Sarasota. Watch out. Naples winning at Omaha.
Busy day in USL League One. Garay. Play to the left-hand side for Rentbull. Drags it centrally! Healy!
And the one guy you'd expect to finish from there in that kind of position. Just pulled it wide. Only the first time tonight that AV Alta have sort of forgot to pay attention to Healy. Pahara was coming across, but if Healy had put that one on target, I don't think there's anything Denzel Smith could have done.
4 goals in the 5 games that have taken place here at the Roo leading into this one.
Must have the smallest shin pads in USL League One, Mark. His socks are always down for Take Healy.
I feel like it's a competition amongst players. Just how small can you get your shin guards to be?
So I've seen some of these ones that they wear at the youth level. It's Tic Tacs.
Whenever I go play, I still have some giant chunky ones.
Yes. Still got the one that have the sock and the strap under the foot.
They're not good. So I understand why you would want to try to get something smaller and a little bit lighter. But hey, one thing I can guarantee is if someone whacks me on the shin, I'm going to be okay. Sometimes I'm worried it might hurt for the other person if they kick me in the shin guard.
You see AV Alta going to the sort of the 4-2-3 now. He's trying to keep that front line of 3 with a little bit of pressure on now that they've brought Osvaldo Ley on to get them back to the double pivot.
First corner kick of the second half. Corner kicks tonight are presented by More Wealth Management, helping individuals and families in Fort Wayne plan for a stronger financial future. Perhaps they can find their breakthrough on the set piece in front of the drumming hive. It'll be Nieto from the left corner flag. Nodded away. Falls to the top for Healy! Another ambitious effort. Off target.
If you're a gambling man, you certainly would have put money on Take Healy to put one of these two strikes on target. Just got underneath that one a little bit with the outside of his left foot.
eFootball is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download now. Here's Lilian Rico, spending some more time out wide here in the second half. Nieto. Abudor will now skirt his way inside, trying to curl it in the middle as Rico returned to his original position.
What a kick.
Here's Colin Anderson. Had to wait for the ball for just a moment. And a tied-up challenge between him and Thiago Dias, who makes sure to walk right by the striker. The Jamaican forward gives them that chance to stretch the pitch here, especially when they're down a player.
Jamaican with some interesting history in the game. North Macedonia, he's played in Iraq and Oman.
Healy lifting it forward for Abudor. Knocked over just outside the penalty area. And the ref will call the foul.
Denzel Smith coming all the way out of his goal. It's going to earn him a red card. I mean, excuse me, a yellow card for the complaints there. It was certainly plenty of physicality in the challenge. Let's take another look at it here. Ooh, is it shoulder to shoulder or hip to back? Certainly a good job of selling it by Clarence Abudor.
Yellow cards tonight presented by Arnold Terrell Riddenauer, attorneys at law, protecting your rights on and off the pitch. As we now get a very interesting free kick opportunity right outside the perimeter of the penalty box.
Yeah, I think Denzel Smith had a bit of a right to be annoyed by that decision, but you can't come out of your goal like that as a goalie and not find yourself in the book. It's a little out far wide perhaps for a crack on goal. Perhaps Abudor can put one over the wall and try to curl one into that top corner.
Abudor.
Oh, that's what he was trying to do.
Goes off the face of Osvaldo Ley, who immediately goes to ground as that shot goes over top.
Yeah, that one hurt. And that a good stoppage by our referees. You see a couple of subs getting
right to the kisser.
You see Ley it was a delayed reaction. And what happens when you take those shots off the head? The brain sort of rebounds in the skull, and it takes you a second to feel it. And here we're going to have a trio of subs, including Jack Thomas, a man who can do things in the final third.
Those three make a proper staircase right there. Thomas to Smith to Solis.
There might be a foot difference between Solis and Jack Thomas, if not more.
So Juan Solis will go in for Reed Sproat. And then you imagine it'll be a reloading of the wingers for Fort Wayne. As Jaden Smith and Jack Thomas have both done well at the wing spots. Well, JP Jordan's going to come out, so Jaden Smith potentially lining up over the right back spot now. And Jack Thomas will sub on for Gafar, which will leave Abudor in the game. So Jack Thomas and Jaden Smith will reload on the right-hand side. Unless, of course, Thomas opts to go to the left and Abudor takes that right-hand side, which actually may be the more likely situation because Abudor does like to cut inside a little bit, which gives Jaden Smith the lane to kind of operate that entire touchline.
looked like Awador was going to stay on the left here. We'll see how things go. We did see Jaden Smith play right back in that game against Indy 11 in the Cup. Can also play at that right midfield spot. It looks like Jack Thomas might even play a little more in an advanced role. That false 9 behind Rico. That's where he scored that goal in that Indy 11 game to take it to extra time. What a strike that was.
A late game equalizer against their in-state rivals. You'd love a late game winner here in this one against AV Alta. They've been up a man for just about the entire second half. It was the 47th minute that Mabumu Al-Assad was sent off.
Fort Wayne clearly going to try and win this contest. 20 minutes to go here with the extra man. They haven't been particularly impressive with the extra man, so that's a lovely ball.
Smith rolling it into the middle. Looking for recall. Kept in by Healy. Healy finds Thomas. He goes down maybe a bit too easily there. Solis bulldozing in, knocks over Anderson.
And Fort Wayne still seeking their first shot on target in this second half after having 3 of them in the first half when it was 11 on 11. They do have 7 shots total. Still haven't made Denzel Smith do a whole lot. Let's take another look at this foul.
Ouch.
Yeah. That's one of those ones where you get the ball, but you also have far too much contact. Well, it was definitely a step on a toe there. Jimmy Villalobos very lucky. That was a great angle from our crew there. Saw the step on the foot of Jack Thomas. One of those ones that sometimes you get lucky enough to get away with.
Recall. Plays this one back. Rolled over to the right-hand side for Smith. Recall, taps it to Healy. Rotates back to Rempel. Puts this one up for Solis to head.
It's the right man to target.
Yep.
6 foot, whatever he is, 8 or 9.
We have him at 6'8" on the roster, which is pretty ridiculous for the sport of soccer. Some may argue he's playing in the wrong game right now.
Playing in this game 7 tonight instead. 2 other finals. Chattanooga lose 3-1 to the Independents at home. Boise with the 2-goal comeback to get a point in Richmond. 2-2 there. Nick Moon with another goal. I think it's his 3rd of the season.
Love to see a USL League One OG return to the mix. Thomas trying to cut that one across. Earns his side a corner kick. Got another more wealth management corner kick. Fort Wayne trying to find a breakthrough. They've been knocking on the door this entire game, but despite the knocking, they really still haven't asked much of goalkeeper Denzel Smith.
No, I give credit to this AV Alta back line. They've held together strongly, even with the man down. Really haven't allowed Fort Wayne to have too many quality chances. The ones they've had the chance to turn into quality ones, they haven't capitalized.
Garay taps it to Healy, who rolls it back. Burnt Shipman on the ball now.
Speaking of men that haven't had much to do tonight.
Yeah. There were daisies to pick on the pitch. He could have done that.
It's 2 shots total so far for AV Alta, none of them on target.
And another corner kick incoming for Fort Wayne.
I wouldn't expect we'd see too many more with them just trying to get out of here with a point. It's going to be all Fort Wayne the rest of the way here.
Yeah, really their only hope is perhaps a counterattack opportunity off of a set piece like this, but even then, you got to have the ball bouncing your way in one capacity or another. 15 more minutes to go. Fort Wayne up a player. Have had the lion's share of possession and opportunities, but nothing to show for it. Diash brings it down nicely. Nieto lifting it up. And Denzel Smith coughs it. Abudor straight into the muck. Still going. It's a mess, but one that AV Alta escapes.
I'm not sure how. The initial mistake was by AV Alta not just letting that one go out of play. It was kept in play when it was going to go out for a goal kick. And then Denzel Smith tried to come over the top of Relaford. And here comes the veteran Miguel Ibarra.
So he will sub in for Cesar Bahena. And Miguel Ibarra, who already has played more this season than he did last season in the inaugural year for AV Alta. One thing that was made abundantly clear by Brian Claben when we talked to him yesterday was that he is so grateful that Miguel Ibarra is around this team and the impact he has in his work ethic on the younger players, says Healy. I'll chip it over to Awudor. Inside it goes to Thomas. Back to Healy. It once again rolls wide.
Another chance goes begging for Tag Healy. Good work by Awudor here in that right channel. And then Jack Thomas with a lovely little flick back. Good first touch from Healy. Just snatched it a little bit with the outside of his left foot. Here's the replay of that complete mess. I'm not sure who made the stop there on Awudor. Another chance here. Relaford on his backside, just trying to get in the way. Did just enough.
It was chaotic, but it was not converted.
Oh, watch out.
Desdoon hits the brakes. Desdoon going right, shoots, it's blocked by Rempel. Well done by Jerry Desdoon. A lot of individual great moments there.
I'd say he's been the most liveliest AV Alta player when he has got on the ball tonight. He's always looked like doing something dangerous. It was a beautiful ball to find him. Equally as good bit of defending from Rempel.
The Haitian, Jerry Desdoon, knowing his team is down a player. It's going to take some moments where you need to handle more than one player. That one goes out. Appeals, then it went off a Fort Wayne player. Not appeased. The USL Championship and League One are on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN+. Go to USLChampionship.com as we hold the phone. Here's Rico!
Oh,
straight at Denzel Smith.
Pulls his calf in the process. Cramp in the calf, at least. That just sums up Fort Wayne's night right there. We've seen Lilian Ricard do this all year. Get behind the last defender. Beautiful ball by Tyg Healy. Good first touch. And you just expect a better finish from that man. Maybe he pulled it on the shot, and as a result, there was nothing behind it. That might be the end of Lilian Ricard's night, unless he can stretch that out.
Could mean we see Daniel Oyatunde step into the limelight with 10 minutes to go.
Yeah, they certainly don't have a natural 9 replacement for Ricard.
This one given away as they're trying to rush forward. Diash cut along for Thomas, won't get there. Awudor, now it's Healy. Had it poked away. Diash to Thomas. Well off target. 2 more changes incoming for AV Alta. Eric Seja Gonzalez will sub on, and brother of Adam Almesh, Elias Almesh, making his USL League One debut. Played in one game in the USL Cup so far and scored in that game, by the way, Elias Almesh. Well, that is the end of the road here this evening for Jerry Desdoon. Left it all out there on that last little interaction in the box. So another Frenchman onto the pitch here for the visitors.
We spoke to Brian Claiborne a little bit about Eric Seja Gonzalez and his impressive return to the lineup recently. Had a bit of a knee injury earlier this season. Didn't play much for him last year or at Lexington the year before. So he's been very, very impressed with him of late. So it's been hard to keep him out of the lineup. Had a great week before Sarasota got in the lineup and then couldn't take him out.
Smith popping it into the 18, recall. Oof. Put his boot up, trying to connect with the ball, and instead makes contact.
Another bit of sacrificial defending by Nick Relaford. He knew what he had to do there, and he knew what was coming. From recall, didn't see him coming. Relaford took one for the team there. Got the kick. Look at it here from a different angle. Yes, if you're going to get kicked, that's the place to get kicked, Mark.
And the return of Ryan Betcher for Fort Wayne has arrived. One of the highlight players that League One fans would recognize when this team was being built, because there wasn't a ton. A lot of these guys coming out of college that you're going to have to get acclimated to. Betcher, looking to see if he can come in and make a difference in these final few minutes. Worth noting, Recall still out there.
Interesting to see both of those two. Betcher, now healthy. Certainly not a like-for-like replacement if he had replaced Recall. Certainly very different players, but can both play on the front line. Betcher was used all over the front line when he was healthy earlier in the season. Played a bit of right, bit of left, bit of up top, and attacking mid as well.
There was a lot of tinkering early on in the year for Fort Wayne, given some availability issues. Smith rolling it in, takes a couple deflections. Denzel Smith flying in to punch it away. He's slow to get up, but he returns to his feet. Jaden Smith once again. Rolled over to Garay. Jeremy Garay dancing forward. Garay squares it. It's fired away. And once again, an off-target effort from Tay Healy. He's had a handful of chances in this game.
Yeah, the thing is, to Tay Healy's played so well this season, you almost expect him to score every game, Mark. Just hasn't been his night tonight for the diminutive attacking midfielder. Just can't seem to find the target, left-footed, right-footed. Maybe he'll score headed before the night's over, Mark. Surprises all.
Denzel Smith on his back right now.
Yeah, he came out for that ball and had to go over a Fort Wayne player. There was no foul. Just a brave decision by Denzel Smith.
So Tay Healy with several opportunities in this game. Many of them from very similar vantage points too. Right around the top of the 18. Just hasn't been able to calibrate the shot.
No, certainly an early candidate for Young Player of the Year in USL League One. Remember Mike Avery's telling us a couple of weeks ago he was very lucky he felt to get him. And there was a lot of USL Championship interest in him as well, as Denzel Smith's still down. Here's a look at that punch away. Yeah, he jumped right over the top of the Fort Wayne player. There's a look at Brian Claiborne. Trying to get out of here with a point. He's nearly there.
Yeah, stressful second half here, and honestly a stressful first half as well for AV Alta. Just been sitting right along the edge. And they have hung on tight up to this point.
Being outshot 19-4 so far. Still seeking their first shot on target. But it's been a long week for Brian Clayman's men, and I think once they went down to 10 men, there was only one goal, and that was to get out of here with a point. And they're about 6 or 7, 8 minutes perhaps away from doing so. Or maybe 3.
Ilyas Almesh with some ideas of his own. Almesh.
Oh, there's a foul in the build-up. I thought we were waiting to see which of them was offside. Didn't hear the whistle from Alex Beeler. No complaints from men in white.
Fort Wayne on the other side trying to cap off what has been a crazy month in May. This their 6th home match. Sprinkle in that one road trip to AC Boise as well. Mike Avery described it as a blur. He mentioned us, he barely even knows what day of the week it is. That one goes off of Osvaldo Ley for a corner kick.
Might be the second one off his noggin, Mark. Not sure if it hit his head or his back.
Another more wealth management corner kick here, as Jack Thomas now will be the one to try to deliver. It's been pretty lackluster on these corner kicks today for Fort Wayne. The deliveries, many of which have been punched or nodded away by AV Alta without making any contact with a black jersey.
And now you've got Juan Solis as your target, Mark. And a big target at that. You can see AV Alta putting 2 bodies on him quite wisely.
Thomas ripping it in.
Oh, almost snuck in there. Denzel Smith, I think, had to get right down by his near post and bat that one away.
Another more wealth management corner kick. Can they set these fans into a frenzy? Thomas drilled in once again. Appeals for a handball. Nothing of it. Rempel.
You heard someone say he's caught the ball. Colin Anderson with a rather unconventional clearance at the near post. I'm not sure, perhaps we'll get another look at that in a second, but got away with it.
Thomas. Over to Almesh. Jack Thomas. Up top to Diosh. Rotating to the right-hand side. Healy gets Smith running. Drilling it centrally. Cleared away. Almesh over to Garay. This one tapped back, some pressure. Trickles over to the left-hand side via Lobos, does well. Anderson quickly back up on his feet, and he'll try to dribble away the second. Every one of them precious.
Yeah, what a ball that was in. And we'll take another look at this possible penalty here. Keep an eye on this near post. Ooh,
oh my goodness.
Certainly a bit of a hand. It was off the, maybe off the chest first. The arm was in certainly a natural-ish position. It's just awkward looking, I think, more than anything. It's Daniel Oyatunde, the former Arsenal Academy man, enters the fray here. Not been the best day for Mr. Oyatunde. See if he can remedy things here tonight.
I think the sadness of earlier today would be wiped away if he could find a late game winner here.
No doubt.
But time is running out, and AV Alta are inching closer and closer to escaping with a point. Almesh, persistent. And that's rewarded him.
Yeah, he's been lively since coming on.
Ibarra rolled away from him, and it is going to be a goal kick. Ref didn't like the quick restart. You can understand why Fort Wayne would be in a hurry. Here's Tate Healy, rolling it out wide to Rempel. Rempel rolling it in. Smith plays it right back out to Rempel. Here's the cross. One-timer from Diash. Over the top it goes as we get stoppage time added on here. Fans, when you need more time, call more. Tonight's stoppage time is brought to you by More Wealth Management. As we take a look at this replay here.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's the center back that ends up on the end of this one. Skies it into this Indiana night.
More Wealth Management, by the way, helping you plan for the future, both on and off the pitch. More Wealth Management, proud sponsor of Fort Wayne FC stoppage time. And 7 large minutes added on here. It's going to feel like eternity for AV Alta. It's going to fly by for Fort Wayne if they can't find something. Smith. Now it's Thomas. He has it again. Thomas with the cross. He was searching for Betcher. Garay looking up ahead. Lifting it, trying to find Oyatunde. Diash, Colin Anderson are over there. Anderson, sweeping challenge from Thiago Diash, knocks it out. You know, it's going to be a mosey over to the ball being held by one of the ball boys here. Try to play a bit of keep away. Miguel Ibarra, double team, escapes. Rolls it to his right. Shot taken, shot off target, which has been all the shots so far in this game for AV Alta.
Yeah, I don't think they'll mind there. Another few seconds off the clock. You wouldn't put it past Miguel Ibarra to come up with a winner there somewhere here. A wily veteran.
Healy, the outside of his boot, sends it out wide to Smith. Thomas taps it right back. Healy. Recall, chips it up. Recall wins it back. Lily on recall, stepping into a shot. Blocked away. And now cleared away by Villalobos. Shipman will run over to it and will look to get the attack started once again.
Yeah, Brian Clayton said to us this week he's known Miguel Ibarra for 20 years. When you hear any kind of passage of time like that in soccer, amazing how these guys continue their network.
Healy on the ball once again to Garay. Finds Solis. Juan Solis takes a shot off the crossbar. It's still loose and they score. But the offside flag is up. The offside flag is up. Denying the pleasure for Fort Wayne.
Juan Solis, the last man you'd expect to try a pile driver from distance. He's saying, can I stay up top, please? After that strike, mate, you can do whatever you like.
Oh, he was so close.
Oh, that was such pace on it. Obviously can't see from that angle if Diash was onside or not. A lot of the crowd just finding out that the goal was disallowed. Smoke still going off. I guess with the smoke, once you've pulled it, nothing you can do. A little premature smoke in the hive.
Thiago Diash given a yellow card after the fact. Yellow cards presented by Arnold Terrell Rittenauer, attorneys at law, protecting your rights on and off the pitch. It did look like Dias was ready to rip the shirt off after the goal.
He definitely took it off and threw it. I'm not sure whether it was in disgust at the decision by the AR or he thought he'd scored.
Well, certainly started with being the thought that he scored.
Yes. He was right by the AR.
Healy rips it inside. Player goes down, lunging for it, Ryan Betcher. No contact spotted by our head official, Alex Beeler.
I think Betcher just kind of launched himself at it. He had to. If there's any chance of him getting on the end of it.
Denzel Smith. Stuttering forward. Now we'll launch it. One more minute of the 7 allotted to go. AV Alta just clenching and hanging on to this point. Fort Wayne trying to get all 3. Smith with the cross. Parried down and cleared away. It would be an oh so frustrating result for the home side and a gritty point to hang your hat on if you're AV Alta. Solis got his head on it, but not too much pace to follow.
Yeah, good defending there by Miguel Pajaro, staying goal side of the big man, not allowing him to get any pace, as you said, Mark, on that header. No danger for Denzel Smith. "21 shots tonight for Fort Wayne, only 4 on target." That's the story of the evening. But maybe they can find one more here.
This could be the last moment in this game. Healy rolling into Smith. Smith rolling it in the middle. And the other Smith will scoop it up. And there is your final whistle. A scoreless draw that'll feel like victory for the visitors. And it'll leave a bitter taste in the mouth for Fort Wayne.
Yeah, the home team by far the better side for this full 90-plus minutes. Just couldn't find the final shot, the final pass in the final third to take the lead and change the trajectory of this game. AV Alta down to 10 men for the majority of the second half and just held on for a vital point on the road.
Frustration for Tay Healy, for the fans, and for the other players on the pitch. And Healy had so many moments in this game, and he is our man of the match. Presented by PSM ONE, keeping Fort Wayne FC healthy, and match ready all season long. These are all of the opportunities Tay Healy had in this game. For a player that has scored so frequently here at the Roo. As you mentioned throughout, you're expecting one of these to go through, but that just wasn't to be tonight.
Yeah, 7 shots for the rookie. Only 2 of them inside the box. There was a lot of speculative efforts from distance, but the man of his talent, you'd expect him to get a little better return from those efforts.
So that is where the game will end. We will have some post-game coverage coming up after this on ESPN+, but it is a 0-0 draw between Fort Wayne and AV Alta.
Knows your kid's name, your dream for a backyard, and that this is more than a house. At Ruoff, we've got your person, the one you'll lean on from your pre-approval to the closing table. Your loan officer will be there with you every step of the way. The right home begins with the right person by your side.
Partnership between O&E, Orthopedics Northeast, and Parkview Sports Medicine is unique because our team is taking care of the athlete in their own environment on the field. O&E is the other end of our treatment when someone actually does have an injury that requires a specialist care.
We have athletic trainers, we have the physical therapists, and everyone's important. Everyone has a role to play because our goal is the same. We're just trying to get these athletes back to doing what they love to do.
An eventful 0-0 draw here at Ruoff Mortgage Stadium. Fort Wayne close off their home stretch with a 0-0 draw. AV Alta close off a busy week with a gritty point on the road. Mark Schoenster, Ross Davenport with you here on the broadcast. Let's take a look at our highlights. And it starts with this absolute mess here in the second half.
Yeah. Poor old Clarence Aguador just chasing that ball around, couldn't get to poke it home. On to the 79th here. Lovely ball through for Rick Hall. This unit. Interesting decision. And there, your final stats in this one. The XG not pictured there does tell the story. Fort Wayne 1.8, AV Alta 0.13, 23 shots. 229 to 5, and a frustrating evening for Fort Wayne. AV Alta take the point back west.
And they will have a 3-game home stretch after this, starting with the game against Orange County in the USL Cup. It's a road trip to Omaha in the USL Cup next weekend for Fort Wayne as we wrap this one up here on ESPN+. For our entire broadcasting crew, for Ross Davenport, my name is Mark Schoenster. We appreciate you tuning in for this broadcast. 0-0 your final score. We hope you have a good rest of your weekend, and we will see you next time in USL League One action.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.